There's speculation users could see anything from multiple news feeds to image-based ads. Want to take a closer look at which rumors could hold weight ahead of the announcement at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Jason Tanz is the executive editor of Wired, and he joins us from San Francisco. Jason, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
You know, every time they say they're going to do something, there's like a collective groan among users everywhere. Is that deserved this time?
Probably not. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be all sorts of protests and people writing long posts begging people to stop reposting their tweets and all these things. Anytime they change their interface at all, it's such an intimate product that we have such an intimate relationship with that anytime there's any change, immediately there's this kind of shock. So I'm sure there will be protests, and I'm sure they'll blow over just like they always do.
Your point is, obviously, mobile's changed everything, and it changes the way that they have to present their news flow. What do you think it's going to be? You talk about possible lessons from Instagram. How could that work, too?
Yeah, well, some of the rumors, TechCrunch reported that there are going to be sort of multiple feeds, and that one of these will be a photo feed, and it's going to incorporate all the photos that you post on Facebook or Instagram as its own separate feed. And that way, Facebook can kind of eat Instagram, right? And Facebook will be the lens that you view everything through. So that's one example. Really, what Instagram found is that people don't necessarily want to communicate via text. They want to communicate via images, and they want to have ways of manipulating those images. That's been a really powerful way of communicating via mobile. It wouldn't work, obviously, as well on laptops or desktop computers, but with mobile devices, that's a very natural way for people to communicate. So I'd expect Facebook to incorporate some of those lessons.
How about some of these algorithms, which is sometimes a hornet's nest for companies as they adjust them over time? Google's taught us that.
Yeah, that's right. So there have been a lot of protests about how Facebook manages its news feed. Facebook is in a bit of a bind. It wants to make sure that the information that you see and read is relevant to you. They don't want you to just be overwhelmed by spam. On the other hand, they want to make sure that when you post an update, your friends can actually read it. So there are these two different pressures on them, and at times it seems that they've erred on the side of limiting too much of the information that gets out there. So a lot of people have complained that they post stuff on Facebook and their friends can't see it because the filtering algorithm filters it out. And it's pretty similar to what Google went through with its ranking mechanism. You may remember that anytime Google changed its ranking algorithm, a bunch of companies would complain that they used to be the number 2 result and now they're the number 30 result, and it's destroyed their business. So that's, as Facebook tries to make itself a launch pad for businesses, it's going to come under scrutiny for those kinds of decisions as well.
As we get closer to the announcement, which is, of course, a little more than an hour away, volumes picking up, stocks picking up here. I just wonder, Jason, do you think any changes are going to be material to earnings? I know it's not quite your thing, but I'm sure you must have some thoughts on it. And how are they doing in terms of the balance between looking at the needs of the advertiser and looking at the needs of the user?
Yeah, well, I do think it could have some impact on earnings. The whole idea is to make this both more attractive. Facebook's goal is a win-win, right? There's more attractive content for users to look at, and that basically advertisers can provide more attractive content that users will want to see. So that's what they want to see. They want to see all boats rising. And if they can figure out a format that will present sponsored content in some appealing way that users actually want to see, I think that's what they're trying to do with this news feed, and potentially there could be a lot of upside for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch, see what Menlo Park says in a little bit. Jason, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jason Tanz joining us from Wired.